the thing about Rick Ross. That's the thing about the boss. The metaverse, crypto. Y'all getting so much money. Where you at? Where you at? Show us. And I don't mean, oh, I'm trying to make money. Man, I got a lot of money. I ain't need that fake money. But show us, show my homies what the metaverse about. One of y'all big boy crypto dudes, guru crypto, picture takers, step up and say, this is what we gonna do, Rose. Where you at? Huh? Yeah, everybody giggling, looking around. All that fake rich money, where it's at? Educate us. I know some rich homies who getting money, Bitcoin, Rodney. That boy getting real money, but come on, man, bring it to the Renzel verse.
Matt, where's that, man? Show me the money, bro.
Show us. Oh, man. I remember when you first sent me that clip. That was hilarious.
I was following him yesterday, and he was actually tweeting about, like, okay, actually show me how to do this.
Like, literally show me.
Yeah. What's going on?
We're in the barest of markets right now. It's difficult to show you right now, but man,
he might be in that mentality, man. Like, you buy low and see what happens.
This is the time.
You know what I'm saying?
If that's what you're waiting for, it's the time.
Absolutely.
Any crypto and NFTs you could show Rick Ross in the last week or two? No, nothing.
Nothing that's going to attract him. I think he's more so going to start his own because it's just another hustle of his.
Yeah.
Like, he was super excited that Wingstop was going to sell chicken sandwiches now.
Oh yeah, he's probably going to
just another one.
A loyalty program. He'll have a loyalty program eventually.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Oh yeah, man.
Did you hear about actually Starbucks' new loyalty program? Not their re-energized loyalty program.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, they're integrating the blockchain into their loyalty program. They've historically had one of the best loyalty programs, reward programs, like the most members on their platform. They just announced they're rolling out a new one that's going to involve the blockchain and NFTs.
Another one bites the dust, man. Everybody's jumping on ship real quick. Like, the blockchain is useful, man. Like, this is going to be just another case study for other companies.
It is. It's crazy. Let me read you this quote from Brady Brewer, their vice president, chief marketing officer. He says, leveraging Web3 technology will allow our members to access experiences and ownership that was not possible before. Starbucks Odyssey, that's what they're calling the new program, will transcend the foundational benefits that our Starbucks Rewards members have come to love and unlock digital, physical, and experiential benefits that are uniquely Starbucks.
Sweet. So it sounds like they're of some sort of shelling out some sort of digital equity for people.
Yeah, I think there's a whole they're building this portal where members can engage in Starbucks Odyssey journeys, which include a series of activities, interactive games, basically a bunch of fun challenges to deepen their knowledge of coffee and Starbucks. They can then be rewarded for completing journeys with a digital collectible journey stamp or an NFT. Ooh. That's what they're calling it.
There you go. Well, if you're listening to our Streamcast for the first time, that is a prime example of utility.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Signing up, being a part of that community, and everything that you just broke down, that would definitely attract me to at least checking it out, just seeing what a corporate brand like Starbucks is going to do with that, and see, what the benefit or what can I take away from that.
Right. And what other big brands are to follow? I don't know specifically what they're doing, but Chipotle is doing a lot. I had a note that they're on track to reach 3.5 billion in digital sales in 2022.
Wow.
I don't know, that's not all blockchain or NFTs. Right. That's a lot of their online web.
A lot of pandemic driven.
Yeah.
Like now behavior has just changed.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's going to be wild. And to think, kind of the last note I have on this about the Starbucks is each stamp will include a point value based on its rarity, and the stamps can be bought or sold among members within their marketplace with their ownership secured on a blockchain. So who knows what it's all going to look like, but
they should have just said we're creating NFTs.
They should have, but in the headline nowadays or in crypto bear markets, like that might retract people.
That's true.
DraftKings Rainmakers, they don't market their this new fantasy football platform as NFT based. It's in some of the print, but they market it as digital collectibles, as trading cards, as a different. They're not putting that stigma on it because I don't think it's accepted yet.
Yeah, it's like a curse word at this point, especially with like the market going the way it is. And I know we're gonna touch on the merge in a second here, but like it's so much unknown.
Yes,
that we've got to figure out a slick way to say that this is an NFT.
100%. And whatever it looks like, whatever these assets are that Starbucks is putting into the hands of all their members, the fact that they can buy and sell it on their marketplace, forever, they're just creating more and more revenue streams where just get things in their hands and whatever, takes off, people buy and sell.
They're ahead of the curve with that. Like we've talked about it in previous podcasts. Like we were foreseeing like maybe a Walmart or a Target, some of the larger department stores will give you some sort of access to exclusive items or discounts or whatever. Like this is like one of the first. I mean, Starbucks is a major brand. I would say probably like top 5 brand in the United States.
Maybe the world.
Yeah, maybe the world. Shit. Yeah. But like to see them dive in like this, like.
And they're showing that they can innovate and change course with what they were built on, which whether it's blockchain or any other type of new technology, it just shows you whether you're a small business or a Starbucks, like you got to be ready to make moves and you gotta take chances and try things. Like who knows what this is going to look like in the next 12 months for Starbucks, but they're testing it out, and I'm sure it'll be around in a decade. What it'll look like. Who knows?
Absolutely. And we were talking off mic about just their model in general changing from like the coffee shop goers and people who are social in the coffee shop to, like the pandemic kind of morphed everybody's behavior to like seem more transactional than ever. So you said that they were going to create 2,000 more stores that are all just drive-through based.
Because initially they have all this real estate because they wanted to take advantage of people going and getting coffee and hanging out at the coffee shop and
using the Wi-Fi and all the
that's your point in between A and B. Wherever you're going, like that's where you kind of congregate. That's just not the way it is anymore, at least with a lot of people, not as many people as it was. So I think what I read was these 2,000 locations are like all drive-through, all delivery, all like how can we get you from point A to point B fastest versus keeping you in the middle as long as possible.
That with the Odyssey program just proves the whole business shift. Like, the whole outlook of the business just changed.
They always had something with that app too. And I don't drink Starbucks a lot, but I've got the app and they always get me with like the $25 minimum to like reload the card. It's their own credit card system because as soon as I get below $5, you can't afford everything there, so you have to load it to $25. It's like they just keep getting that churning and that money sitting in their account.
I feel you. Me personally, I'm intimidated by Starbucks. I don't know what the hell I'm ordering. So I just make some black coffee at home.
You're getting a lot of stuff. Can I say drug? Caffeine's a drug.
For sure.
You're getting some drugs in there.
Oh, yeah.
They got some high percentage caffeine, whatever the percentage is in caffeine. I don't know.
Yeah, like my girl back in the day used to ask me to pick her up whatever the fuck from Starbucks. I'm like, all right, you're going to have to write this down. Like, I have no idea what you're saying.
I need a IOU after this one.
No, my coffee order is pretty simple, though. Just black.
Black. Do you ever see Airplane?
No, I haven't.
Gotcha. Okay, then I can't drop the Airplane
man,
quote.
I can't get the reference.
What? Yeah, he goes, I like my coffee like I like my men.
Oh, I got you.
Black. So Starbucks, they're getting into the NFT game with their royalty program. Did you hear, this is on a little different topic, but do you hear what happened, the accident? Crypto.com, they had a $10 million plus accident.
Yeah, so I heard of the accident, but I didn't know it was crypto.com because I just randomly saw the headline. I was like, "Ooh, good for that lady."
Yes, right. So apparently there's this lady out in, I think it was Australia, maybe New Zealand. She requested a $100 refund last year at some point, or maybe it was earlier this year.
Just to reiterate, $100.
100. And at some point when that transaction was being processed, I guess there's some manual part of it at crypto.com. They actually accidentally put in her account number instead of $100 in whatever box they need to include it in and ended up sending her like $10.5 million.
How does that happen? That person had to get fired, or if that, I don't know if that was an automated thing. Like
I think there was something manual in it that someone made a mistake that they didn't pick up on until they were doing audits at the end of last year, like pre-Christmas audits.
And of course, she wasn't going to say shit.
No, they were like, "Where did this money go?"
Yeah.
And so they're actually suing her for that money back. She ended up buying, a mansion, and she went on a spending spree.
She went crazy.
Like,
she should.
Right? you wake up one day and you have 10.5 million.
Who was gonna be like, yo, this doesn't belong to me?
Crypto.com. I sent them an email to their support team. Hey, you guys just sent me like $11 million.
Gave me too much money.
Can you just take it back? Dude.
I'm interested to see how that plays out, because like that was y'all mistake. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
If I drop $200 on the ground and somebody picks it up, like it is what it is. You know what I mean?
You lost it.
Yeah. Or I gambled
right
$10,000 and I lost it. Like,
you put your life savings under your mattress in cash versus putting it in a bank or putting it somewhere safer. Like, yeah, it's yours, but you gave it up or didn't protect. Like, I don't know. It's tough.
Because can you sue somebody when you gave them the money?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
in my experience, it's tough.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I got hit hard last year. Actually, I just wrapped it up. I was scammed in the credit card world.
Yeah.
To the tune of almost $50,000, and it was something that American Express had initially refunded back to me when we were going over all these fraudulent transactions. They credited me back the amount. They sent me a check for this full amount. Then about a month and a half later, I wake up and they've taken it all out of my account, every penny of it, or at least frozen my account until I paid it back.
I was just going to ask, so they literally took it, or they were waiting for you to manually set it up to...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been fighting them over these last 9-10 months, and it was a scam, and it was fraudulent, and the refund should have happened from my view, but they ended up saying they couldn't prove a bunch of corporate BS. They can't prove it, so it's this whole drawn out thing. I have to pay back money that I already paid.
Right.
It's
even though they have everybody's data and know where we're at.
Yeah.
Like, based on our purchases and
but they don't talk to each, like the credit card companies and the third party payment providers, Venmo, PayPal, like they don't. No one wants responsibility, and no one wants to share their role in a negative thing. So like,
because at the end of the day, there's a ton of cases. Like that too. It's like.
There's so many.
Yeah.
The initial scam of my summer last year, I was looking for a house to rent, and someone
scammed summer last year.
Dude, I had it's been a rough year.
Bro. I'm sorry.
It was a rental scam where I literally signed a lease to rent in a place, and it was this whole scheme. I only lost $1,500 in that one, but that was through Venmo.
Still.
And everything I was doing with the police and the investigation, they were like, yeah, I'm sorry, Venmo won't work with us, PayPal won't work with us. They just say, hey,
that's crap.
We're a third-party app. So, like, the police, they don't even pursue this stuff.
So Venmo and them, they're above the law, essentially.
Essentially.
Like when some heinous stuff goes down, they're like, we didn't have any part in any of that, and good luck.
Yeah, yeah. These are part of why I'm not, a crypto maxi. I'm not against all big corporations. There's a lot of shady stuff out there, but there's a lot of good stuff. But at the end of the day, I find like, no matter how big they are, they might not help you when you need them.
Oh yeah, no, they don't. I mean, they don't care. Like, we're all a number. I mean, that's the corporate mentality. And I think too, in terms of like the government getting involved in our current in crypto and NFTs and scams. I know you wanted to talk a lot about how it's all shaping up from like a democracy perspective, from like a tax reporting. There's a lot of intricacies to like whatever the next couple of years are going to look like. Yeah, like you sent me a really dope podcast, and that I was stuck on it.
Bankless?
I don't want to mess this guy's name up. David Chaum, I think, was the guest.
Oh, got you.
He was the one who was speaking towards like what all this regulation on the crypto market, what that would actually mean versus the optics of it. You know what I'm saying? So I said on this podcast, and I'll continue to say on this Streamcast, plenty of times that the reason why I got into crypto was because of the government involvement. Like we talked about what happened with GameStop, with AMC, and all that, and with the government trying to figure out how to regulate crypto, how to understand what we're using it to consume or how we're consuming it and what we're using it for is just another reason why we should have some sort of privacy wall. Not with everything. I mean, it's the United States of America. There's going to be government involvement, but the whole reason that crypto was created in a way was for that decentralization movement. Like, hey, like we're putting value into this quote unquote internet money, and once we put that value behind it, it is what it is. The government can't control it, things like that. I know there's been rumors about Coinbase's involvement and everything like that. Yeah. But what David was trying to get to was if we're regulating this and the government has eyes on everything I use crypto for, what's the difference between us and China, if you will? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because they go to a different level, like what you see on the internet, and
like actually restricts. You know, you can't be on TikTok in China, or they restrict.
Exactly. So what he was getting to was more so from a tax perspective. Like he would love to see, you know, Matt owes I don't know, $30K in taxes this year. That's all they need to know.
The government,
Yeah, the government. Did he pay this or did he not? Not Matt made X amount of dollars on Bitcoin this year. He also used that money and bought a ton of Solana and bought NFTs, and these NFTs made X, Y, and Z. So then, like, it's like, okay, how do we regulate Solana now? How do we regulate this NFT project? It just goes down like a crazy wormhole.
It should, or David was saying, it should just be like the only thing they need to have their eyes on is the end result. However, the technology provides that data, or if there's a third party platform that needs to share, you know, the final transactions for tax purposes. Like, that's a benefit to the government.
Right. And he was saying that all of that encompassing like everything involved is threatening democracy. It's like, okay, what liberties do I really have? Yeah. Like you have to see absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Like
it's kind of like the tornado cash banning by the U.S. Department of Treasury. And again, I don't know the specifics about the tornado cash and all the details into that, but Coinbase just came out announcing that they're actually going to fund there are like 5 or 6 people associated with tornado cash that are suing the Treasury. And man, I wish I had the specific reason, but you know, like the legal ramification, the legal title of what they're suing for. But basically, the Treasury they shut down this one specific type of crypto, and the Coinbase CEO came out in a blog post and he said the Treasury went much further and took the unprecedented step of sanctioning an entire technology instead of just specific individuals. He went on to say there are legitimate uses for mixers, and as a result of these sanctions, many innocent users now have their funds trapped and have lost access to a critical privacy tool. So there's much more to unpack within that situation specifically, but from what I understand, the concept is okay. They're shutting down an entire something instead of just going at the bad, just
corrupted or the bad eggs. Yeah,
because there's always going to be corrupt whenever you're dealing with money and whenever you're dealing with
anything and people.
Yes, people. Yeah, there's going to be bad actors. There's going to be corruption, but that shouldn't ruin it for everybody, or our privacy shouldn't be ruined because of that. You just got to do a better job of finding those people.
Right. Exactly. It goes back to your fraud summer last year. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to shut down the whole real estate process because you got scammed out of $1,500. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That just doesn't happen. I think the technology itself causes for a threat for certain people versus if it's job security or already some technologies in place that people are accustomed to using or government affiliation. If it blocks them, speaking to the privacy tools, if it blocks them from seeing certain aspects, I see why they would go against it, but it's real. It goes. I mean, we were in IT. Like, it goes back to like harnessing that technology for your own personal gain or for your use. So like the government can do that too. These companies can do that. It's just
right. I don't have a solution. I don't know the right way.
I don't think anybody does.
Right.
But I don't know. You can tell when a technology or a company is corrupt versus a person.
Yes.
So that's kind of how
I subscribe to the notion too that, at least in my experience, especially in the last 2 years, like it's too easy for the bad actors to get away with things, and even like small thing. I mean, when we're talking about American Express, a multi-$100 billion company, and like I'm okay if I lost $1,000. I mean, that's a lot of money, but like my life isn't over. But that's a lot of money to a lot of people, and that's a lot of money to me. Like,
it's all relative.
It's all relative. So I don't know. It's these scammers are continuing to do this stuff because there's no consequence. You know, I actually found. Like I have this whole folder of like investigative stuff for like going through Venmo transactions and stuff, and like I just couldn't do anything with it. But if I had, a actual blockchain timestamp of all of my transactions that were fraudulent, I would be able to find at least where in the process something went wrong.
Yeah.
But all these they aren't letting me get to that data.
Right, and then they're not helping. Yeah. So like if you. For example, if you lost $10 million instead of that $1,000, they would probably try to help you or figure that out. It's kind of like the whole Brittany Griner situation. Like she's stuck overseas for doing what she did, but there are a bunch of Americans who we don't know who the hell they are that are stuck overseas too. So it's like $1,000, $10 million, Brittany Griner, Steve, Craig.
Yeah.
Like they pick and choose their battles, and I feel like there should be some sort of like, I don't know, obviously the stakes are a little bit higher with more money, but there should be like the same policies for $10 that you think was fraudulent to $100 million.
And that requires these organizations to invest into that part of their business. And they're not going to do that yet. They should.
Yeah. It's too much responsibility for them, and also like there's profit in ignorance.
Yeah. Shout out Brittany Griner, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I think
sure.
I love how Jalen Rose, was it Jalen and Jacoby? I don't know if you ever watched that show on ESPN. They say every day that Brittany Griner's in Russia, they're gonna bring attention to it, just bring it up on their show. And it's been over 150 days or something, maybe 200. Yeah. So just I hope she gets back soon.
Free Brittany Griner. The only thing I will say about that is know the laws in the country that you're into. Like, that's the only thing that I will say about that.
I'm kind of shocked. I'm curious your reaction. Like, that whole situation and the fact that literally there's a prisoner exchange being talked about where there's one of like the most feared, people in the world from Russia who we had, and we're
some arms dealer or something.
Yeah, like it seems like a movie or like a show. Like it seems fake. It seems scary. Like, but this is really happening.
Yeah,
Brittany Griner versus this arms dealer. Like how is this reality?
I don't know if it's true, but I read somewhere like what Jalen and Jacoby are doing. They were saying don't do that because like we're putting Brittany Griner on this pedestal like higher and higher and higher every time we're like advocating for her freedom, which makes it harder to negotiate with Russia, and because we don't want to give arms dealer homie up. It's not apples to apples,
right?
But if we keep saying free Brittany, free Brittany, free Brittany, they're under the assumption of like, yo, this is a high quality prisoner that we have right here. Like we're gonna need that arms dealer back. Like,
and they're feasting on everything about Brittany Griner that's unique about her.
Yeah,
that would also create chaos. It would create controversy or create a situation, I should say, in the U.S. if we don't, make every attempt. I don't know how.
And by the way, I don't know if that's true or not. I read that the more backing that we put that up publicly, like the support that we give it, actually hurts the negotiation. But
It makes sense.
I
mean, the more we as a country, the more we value this person. I mean, it's tough. She's a celebrity. Is she bisexual or is she lesbian?
I don't know.
I
think she's lesbian.
Yeah, like she's all of these things that are gonna create friction.
Some sort of dialogue, and some competitive.
Yeah, if we don't do it, and I don't know, it's tough. Remember LiAngelo Ball?
Yeah, LiAngelo Ball.
Back in the day when Trump was in office.
Well, he's just an idiot. Like, you don't steal any.
Right, he's an idiot. We got him back pretty fast.
Yeah, that's the one thing they are saying about, Joe versus.
There was this guy I used to train with, Wendell Deuce Daddy Brown. He trained at Barbarous Methods in Plymouth. He ended up playing football. He was a football player, and he went over to China to play 1 year. This was 8-9 years ago, and there was this whole situation where he was being basically harassed by a couple men at a bar. He was just like at a bar having a drink alone after a game or something. He was getting harassed and not really doing anything. He ended up getting arrested and thrown in jail for like 4 or 5 years. Like, it was like a whole thing. They've been trying to get him back here for a long time. I think it was about a year and a half ago. He finally made it back. And he's starting to do a lot of really cool things in Detroit in this community. So I don't know, a topic we never thought of getting on this, but it's important. It's going on in the world today.
Yeah, for sure.
Wild.
For sure. Yeah,
Wild.
No, good for him making it home. But speaking of Brittany Griner, like, I wanted to look at some of the athlete platforms that we've been seeing, and not only athletes, but like this new media age that we're in. I mean, we just started our Streamcast. We've been podcasting before that. Like, for me, like, it's a great way to get your thoughts out, your some sort of expression. Like, it makes me feel good to do this.
Yeah.
So, like, seeing how, and I'm going to zone in on the athletes just because I have the most examples of those right now, but it's cool to see their actual thoughts on things, like whether it's about a game that was just played, teammate relationships with their actual organization, like thoughts straight from them. I just think it's so cool how, like, this new media wave is coming out. I think Draymond literally just calls it the new media.
Right.
But
it was pretty, I mean, when we signed here with New Radio Media, like that's an awesome name to me.
Because even us, like, we're going through this real time. Like, I might buy an NFT tomorrow. Like, the merge is happening tomorrow. And, like, we get to come on here and express our thoughts versus, like, hearing it from a company of some sort.
Right.
Like, of what you should expect and how you should be feeling. And
you're going to do your own research. I'm going to do my own research. We're going to gather whatever crazy opinion or thought we take out of this crazy concept, but then we're going to talk about it and kind of break it down and figure out, okay, wait, what does this make sense? Like, we're normal. We're at this low level of technical knowledge.
And I think that will be the allure of this Streamcast. And, like, yes, today we are on the eve of the Ethereum merge. So next week we'll come back in and see, like, how it affected us. As we said prior, I read that merging to this new technology, essentially like an upgraded version of Ethereum, is like repairing a high-speed car on the highway going at 90 miles an hour, and you're repairing a tire,
changing a flat
while it's So that's the comparable that we have. It's going to be interesting to see how this does affect us, because they've been talking about ETH2 for a while, and they're just going to remain. It's still going to be just called Ethereum. Yeah. But for them to have like a definitive date tomorrow, like,
and this has been
9/15/2022, like, I'm on pins and needles a little bit to see how this is gonna play out.
I haven't even staked any ETH. I don't actually own almost any ETH right now. It's just all tied up in NFTs and stuff. So
you kind of do in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. So I might, if it shoots to the moon, I'm going to miss out on that. But I'm just taking a step back, seeing how it all plays out. I'm not in the position where I can take those risks. So it's just going to be interesting to see how these next couple of weeks play out.
Hopefully it shoots to the moon. Moon Talk, baby.
Moon Talk. We'll be back next week talking about how the merge played out.
Absolutely. Thank you.